in 1974, the first deliberate broadcast from Earth was made. A 3-minute-long stream of binary information beamed to M13, a cluster of 1 million stars in the constellation of Hercules.
Heart for Let us please remain standing as we observe the anthems. Technical colleagues.
Rise together.
Thank you. Please be seated. Honorable Sanet Steenkamp, Honorable Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts and Culture, Namibia.
Honorable Minister, Gayton Mackenzie, Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Deputy Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Honorable Ms. Peace Mabe.
High Commissioner of Namibia to the Republic of South Africa, Her Excellency Ambassador Frita Nangula Ithete, representatives of the Festus Nehale family, represented today by Mr. Timotheus Nambahu, representatives of the late Simon Petrus Nilenge family, represented here this morning by Meme Frida Gideon, representatives of the Namibian former Robben Island prisoners, represented this morning by Ambassador Martin Kapewasha,
Chairperson of the South African Heritage Resource Agency, Ms. Elodie Klule, Chairperson of Robben Island Museum, Professor Seth Cooper, Chairperson of the Council of Iziko Museums of South Africa, Mr. Marvin Mdluli.
Representatives of the National Heritage Council of Namibia, represented this morning by one of the board members, Mr. Manfred Gaib. A very warm good morning to one and all. Good morning. My name is Boysen Gondo, from the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports and Culture. But today I'm honored to be the co-director for today's proceedings on behalf of the government of the Republic of Namibia.
A very good morning. Pumzile Zonge here from Iziko Museums of South Africa, Director of Advancement and Acting Executive Director of Core Functions. It's a privilege and an honor to be here.
Let me also ask my sister on stage, who's doing the sign language interpretation for today's proceedings, to also introduce herself to the audience.
Good morning, everyone. I am Lesego Modutle. I will be doing South African Sign Language along with my co-interpreter, whom I assume will also introduce herself now.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Fumani Tladi. I'm from the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture in South Africa. I'm also a sign language interpreter.
Thank you very much to interpreters, to everyone in the room. Now we're going to start with prayer.
Let us pray. Loving God of every land and nation, you hold all places at all times in your hands. We come to you with heavy and weary hearts, bringing into your care our beloved. Watch over these mortals' remains that journey home. Guide the hands and feet of those who carry them across the borders and miles. Let no harm or delay distress this final transit, and bring our loved ones safely back to their soil that raised them. May you comfort families and friends who wait with etching grief. May their soul continue to rest in peace. May the families find strength. In your name I pray. Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Chaplain. And now I'm going to call upon the chairperson of Council of Iziko Museums of South Africa to give us a welcoming remark, Mr. Marvin Mdlulo. Over to you, sir.
Honorable Ministers and representatives of the governments of the Republic of Namibia and the Republic of South Africa, members of the diplomatic community, healers, traditional and community leaders, descendants and representatives of descendant communities, colleagues from our heritage institutions, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, and I think more importantly to those who came before us. Welcome to Iziko Museums of South Africa on this very important day on both our countries' history. Today we respectfully and solemnly send home the mortal remains and the spirits of our liberation struggle activists Simon Lilenge and Festus Nihale. Guided by the conviction and in pursuit of the liberation of the people, they were imprisoned at Robben Island and faced the brutality of the apartheid regime. We honor their resilience and dedication to the liberation struggle. Honorable Ministers, today we also send off the ancestral human remains of 84 individuals who were in care of the Iziko Museums for more than 100 years. They enter the South African museums as objects of race-based pseudo-scientific research that was driven by a subjective conclusion aimed at providing indigenous communities with inferior. They were treated as non-citizens, abused, humiliated, and subjected to all forms of colonial apartheid violence. These forms of oppression and violation of human rights were struggles that Nilenge, Niale, and liberation struggle activists firmly and bravely stood against. Honorable Ministers, inspired under your leadership, the mortal remains of those who came before us are now going back home to rest. Minister Mackenzie, allow me to say this. We sometimes talk about you. The last time you were here, you gave us a very difficult task. But it was a request of healing and restoration. In addition to the unethically collected ancestral human remains in our care, you also wanted a list of unethically collected cultural objects delivered to your office within 90 days. And I'm glad that Council and the teams under the leadership of Dr. Ndlovu has met your deadline. It was a very tight deadline, but collaboration between DSEC and Iziko Museums made it possible. Then we are also glad to report that the body casts of those who were casted against their will under humiliating conditions are part of this repatriation process. Last week, I came to the museum and I checked the state of readiness. And I was delighted to see how our staff have also included the cultural collected objects into this repatriation process. Ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome you to this handover event today, we'd like you to leave with a clear message. Iziko Museums is an entity of a democratic South Africa. It is grounded in upholding the Constitution as well as the Bill of Rights. And as such, we are committed to addressing the imbalances of the past in transforming and reimagining our museums, our sites, and our galleries. We dedicate our spaces to healing and restoration of human dignity, working with those who are committed to changing lives and narratives. Last week, I also had the privilege to meet some of the Namibian delegation. And I just want to say thank you for working well with our in collaborating well with our teams. Ministers, as I welcome all guests today, please allow me, in no particular order, to thank the teams from the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, Iziko Museums of South Africa, the South African Heritage Resources Agency, Robben Island Museums, the Department of Health, the National Prosecuting Authority, the Department of Defense and Military Veterans, healers and leaders, experts, officials and community members who have worked tirelessly to work this work a reality. Once again, welcome, and may this homecoming bring comfort to your descendants and healing to your communities, and may it also strengthen the bond between Namibia and South Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mdluli, Chairperson of Council of Iziko Museums of South Africa, for that welcoming remark. I'm now gonna go to the overview of repatriation and restitution by Sarah. And I'm gonna call upon on stage Ms. Elodie Klule, who's gonna give us this overview on repatriation and restitution program. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, honorable ministers, members of the diplomatic corps, traditional leaders, representatives of the government of Namibia, Nilenge and Nahale families, our fallen heroes of the liberation struggle, representatives of the South African government, members and chairpersons of the represented government entities, Iziko, Robben Island and the NPA, all honored guests who have gathered here today. I greet you on behalf of the Council and management of the South African Heritage Resources Agency, SARA. We meet today not just as two states, but as people bound by our shared history, by struggle, and by shared humanity. Undertaking the work of repatriation and restitution is part of our core mandate as SARA. This undertaking is more than the return of objects and mortal remains. It is about restoring human dignity, memory, and ensuring restorative justice. Our heritage legislation and the national policy on the repatriation of human remains and heritage objects gives us a clear ethical framework to guide our work when we process applications for repatriation, identify, verify, consult, and finally return that which was wrongfully taken, ensuring that the repatriation and restitution process bring healing and closure to families and communities and restores their humanity. It is with a sense of understanding and great compassion that we are holding hands today with the government of Namibia as they embark on the sacred process. We acknowledge the painful history behind the return of their ancestral remains that were unethically taken from graves for scientific research, and the return of mortal remains of Nilenge and Nahale, who abandoned their families to fight and died for the freedom that we all enjoy today. Their sacrifice is never forgotten. Their return home is an act of respect and a commitment that such violations must never ever happen again. What is being undertaken here today is a profound moment for South African institutions and government departments to collaborate in facilitating the return of ancestral remains to yet another African country. A reminder that heritage is a shared responsibility that strengthens the relationship and bonds between our nations and communities. What has been most beautiful to witness through this process are the shared common cultural practices and traditional protocols between our two states. From the rituals of farewell to the prayers, to the way we honor our ancestors, is a sentimental reminder that we are one. Our borders may be political, but our heritage, our values, and our ways of mourning and celebrating know no boundaries. In closing, let me reiterate SARA's commitment. We will continue to work with key implementing partners such as the Missing Persons Task Team of the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, our partner institutions such as Iziko Museums of South Africa, Robben Island Museum, and the City of Cape Town. We also recognize the key role played by instrumental government departments such as the Department of Defense, the Department of Military Veterans, the Department of Health, Home Affairs, International Relations and Cooperation, traditional leadership, communities, and international partners to ensure that our repatriation processes are performed with due respect, with care, and with urgency. To the families waiting, your loved ones are coming home. To the government of Namibia, thank you for your partnership and your trust. May this return bring peace to the departed and healing to the living. Enkosi, Kyaleboha, Nyabonga, Bayatanki. Thank you.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as the saying goes, we are all humans and we are bound to make mistakes. On my own behalf and on the behalf of my co-director of today's proceedings, I wanted to apologize that we forgot to acknowledge the presence of the chairperson of the Council of Traditional Leaders of Namibia, Gaup Emmanuel Gassep, and the other traditional authorities in our midst. Our sincere apologies. Honorable Ministers, the Namibian delegation that have presided over the mission of preparing the exhibition and the packaging of the human remains that will be repatriated was joined by representatives of the families of the two ex-political prisoners. And in that regard, it is my honor to invite Mr. Timotheus Nambahu, who will make a statement on behalf of the late Festus Nehale family. My brother, may I invite you to the podium.
Thank you, Chairperson, for giving me this platform. Honorable Ministers, Higher Commissioner, traditional leaders, distinguished guests, members of media, dear family members, all protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. My name is Timotheus Nambahu, and I'm the representative of Nehale's family. I'm going to deliver the statement on behalf of the family as follows. On behalf of my entire family, I stand before you with a heart full of gratitude and respect. Today marks not just the crossing of a difficult chapter, but also a beginning of healing. A healing made possible through the compassion, cooperation, and humanity shown by the two sovereign nations. We wish to extend our deepest appreciation to both the Government of Republic of South Africa and the Government of Republic of Namibia, the Land of the Brave, for their unwavering commitment and ensuring the dignified exhumation and repatriation of our beloved family member remains. This was not just a procedural act, it was a profound gesture of respect for human dignity, cultural value and norms. At the same time, it demonstrates empathy as it shows the ability to understand and share the feelings of other people. The sensitivity, professionalism, and the respect demonstrated the tireless effort of the officials, regular teams, and the community leaders who worked behind the scenes, often under challenging circumstances, to make this possible. Your dedication has ensured that our loved one will finally connect with the rest where he wished, surrounded by the love of the family and holding each other tightly with the ancestors. This moment is a testament to what can be achieved when the nations work together in the spirit of mutual respect and compassion. It is our hope that this cooperation will serve as an example of others, showing that even in matters of higher sensitivity, unity and understanding can prevail. From the bottom of our hearts, we would really like to say thank you. You have not only honored our beloved one, but you have also given our family the gift of peace. May the spirit of humanity continue to guide us all. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nambahu. On the same breath, I'm also pleased to invite Meme Frida Gideon to make a brief statement on behalf of the family of the late Simon Petrus Nilenge. Meme Gideon, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Honorable ministers, I'm here to translate for Meme Frida Gideon, who is going to speak on behalf of the family in Oshuambo. Thank you very much.
Minister Mulimuka, amushe mwya kukalera po ochinimashi twendera ochidi wa holike ocha harusanje se onga kwanirenge.
All honorable minister present here, I want to appreciate you. It's a very difficult moment for us as a family.
Seonga kwa nirenge nenge ndite o family ya tate Petrus nirenge atupandura shine epangero lya South Africa kumweno lya Namibia lya tsukumwe ko chinimashino.
On behalf of the Simon Petrus Nilenge family, we want to thank the two governments, the Republic of Namibia and also the Republic of South Africa, for collaborating to bring us to this event today to honor the life of the departed.
Pesimbo ndiano inkitandi dimburu kwa milongo he alina cha itashi atameke mochirongo chetu cha Namibia.
When the liberation struggle started in Namibia in the early 70s, I remember
Simbo ndono ndali kwa ngane ndinanyike mbura dada po mlongo na heta turwa mono.
That I was about 18 years of age.
O madagadaga shiga tameka musene ai ishuna.
Together.
Se twa kundana ngane twakala tuchikuto tunatate kurwa kwa papo mo milongo hamano na hamano.
There were helicopters hovering around the country, and we also learned that our uncle has been arrested. And our uncle was arrested around Omgurugombashe. When my late uncle was arrested, he left his daughter here, who is the last born. I that is speaking here, my mother is a brother to my uncle. We were beaten and they were asking about my uncle.
Se anerago family di tulimano pamona pone o maru tunenge tuti o masipanga kakala mburo dinji mevi de nani ayo kwa shupangi shupi.
Yeah, to see so many coffins around, and some of them have got remains of people that could not be identified. It's a very sad thing. But in our case, we are grateful that our uncle's remain has been identified. When we were informed about a year ago that the human remain of our family member will be repatriated, we could not believe it. The family then met and they identified the speaker here and the last born to come and represent the family. Some of the family members were concerned that our late uncle died a long time ago, and they thought they would not find any bones. And the speaker here and the last born of the late Simon Petrus Nilenge then tried their best and also visited the office in Windhoek to hear about the repatriations of the remains of their uncles and the father.
Oharuka chaningwa umasiku ngano twetike na tusikame ashike otwaitwe hama chili komwe shashi otwalika tuchikutata tikula tukamona no masipa sipa paife atutindangi kepangero ya Namibia no ya South Africa ya tukumwe sigo atukamono masipa.
Now we are grateful. We want to say that we are grateful as the family that the remain of our uncles and also our father has been identified, and we are here to receive them.
Setuyafale ko Namibia ko chilongo choyina kuluno ojina yakavururukwe mu maendo pamwe na asa kwao mbaili mu meshana lyevururuko ko Namibia.
We are happy that now we are taking them to Namibia, the land of their birth.
Kombinga yagunjuka andeta po kutya andikumagiza kombinga yagunjuka oshigwa na chetu cha Namibia anona yetu yakuseko ochinimo chinene shitu amona shino opoi tule merongo.
The speaker just want to encourage all the young Namibians to work hard and also focus on their education.
Shasho potu kolonye kwenyino kumbota na fosera omulwashika toita patuluka menseta tinalongwa.
The reason why we were colonized as a nation is because there was a lack of education and we did not understand our rights.
Andi sengoro kochiwana anona akulu numba tuleniko tukumagila nyano na ilonge shashi ilongo mbio South Africa yamanguluka na shasho inelongo lota itukolonyeke nese shashi okafara katuna shituchi.
We are just encouraging our young ones to work hard and study very hard.
O andi pandura na tango o presidente na atsikile ne kwatasano ndi tukale ngonga amwa ina sana ikali na itsikila na tango tukale no mbili ndapandura.
Thank you very much.
Ombili Pandu, thank you so much, Meme Gideon. Let me now invite Women Unite Cultural Group to give us an interlude. Women Unite, are we ready? Jason, give me a signal. Are they ready there? Please do invite them to come to the fore. Thank you so much.
Africa, Africa, ulele nina. Africa, Africa, ulele. Oh Africa, oh Africa. Africa, Africa, ulelele. Africa, ulelele nina. Africa, Africa. Everybody, come on, clap your hands. Shoot. Oh, yo, yo. Oh, haya. Oh, haya. Vugani matota kalingu nzemnyama. Gobe, gobe, mato. Gobe, gobe, go manyama. Oh, haya. Oh, haya. Oh, yeah, yeah. Africa.
Thank you, Women Unite, for honoring our ancestors. with that beautiful cultural piece. Thank you so much. Honorable Ministers, distinguished invited guests, as we know that the two comrades were incarcerated at Robben Island together with other Namibians and other South Africans. As we take them back home, they have been bestowed an honor of national heroes within the National Heroes Act framework. So on 26, they will be honored together with other compatriots who have also unfortunately met their demise within the struggle for the liberation of the Republic of Namibia. So on the 26th of August, at the Heroes Eka, Excellency the President will bestow that hero status to the two compatriots and others, as I said, 4 others. So there will be 6 in total that our Excellency President will preside over. And in the framework of also understanding what our comrades while incarcerated at Robben Island, I'm then pleased, with your permission, Honorable Ministers, to invite Ambassador Martin Kapawasha to give us reflections of his experience. He is also political prisoner of Robben Island, to give us his personal experience and reflections of what they had to endure. Ambassador Kapawasha, may I please invite you to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies, Honorable Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports and Culture of the Republic of Namibia, Honorable Clayton, did I pronounce his name correct? Honorable Minister Clayton of Sport and Culture of the Republic of South Africa, Mackenzie, yes. I always forget that name. Our distinguished, first, Your Excellency, Ambassador Ithete, Comrade Ithete, Ambassador Ithete, our distinguished traditional leaders led by Emmanuel Kaeb. Yeah, it's Kaseb, yeah. Emmanuel Kaseb, sorry that I'm mixing up the names today. I think I'm a bit emotional and excited. So comrades, friends, compatriots, dear neighbors, Moreni, Dumela, Malalapo, Murinawa, Kore, Mapenduka. I'm here with Comrade Willem Beaver, one of former Robben Island political prisoner who also served a sentence on the island. Let me start by saying that we are very much grateful to our two governments' efforts that led to the final and logical conclusion of exhuming the bodies of our two comrades lying in front of us here, and at the same time also repatriating these bodies or skeletons back home so that our two comrades could get a dignified burial and join their countrymen and women who sacrificed their lives for the bitter and long liberation struggle that led to the independence of Namibia. There are two comrades lying in front of us here were the first combatants of Namibia liberation struggle. Before that, in the 60s, it was not yet planned. It was called SWALA, Southwest Africa Liberation Army, before plan came in operation. Comrade Simon Nilenge was captured at Ongulugumbashe, and Comrade Festus Nehale was captured while crossing into Namibia to take up arms against the apartheid government. Comrade Festus Nehale was amongst the first, no, is amongst the second group that was sent from Tanzania to join the first group that has established a base at Ongulumbashe. The first group where Comrade Nilenge was captured was the one that established the Ongulumbashe military base that was attacked by the apartheid army in 1966, as you heard from Meme Gideon. But Comrade Nehale, who was in the second group, were the first to be captured. Why? When they entered the country from Tanzania on foot through Zambia, and then at Rundu, you see, that time people were recruited to come and work for the mines. They pretend to be job seekers, and they went in the compound of Wanela or Swanela at that time. There was a Wanela that recruited people to come and work on the mines in South Africa and current Zimbabwe, or that time Rhodesia. So they were reported by the informers. However, one of them, Julius Shilongo Kashuku Kandola, succeeded to evade the arrest and spent almost 2 months running from Kavango region up to Omsati, where Ongulumbashe is located. His aim was to go and report to the others that we were coming to join you, but our group was captured. And I'm the only one who survived. But apparently, one of their deputy commander, or commander by then, Castro, was also arrested, but agreed to collaborate with the enemy, and went to Ongulugumbashe, betrayed the other people. That's how the camp was found. So the two comrades died before our arrival, the two of us. I arrived there in 1974 on Robben Island, and Comrade Nilenge died that year, but I didn't meet him. 3 years earlier in 1971. All their deaths were mostly bad conditions in prison, treatment, and in the time of arrest because people were tortured. So that led to their being sick and later died. I would just like to say that on behalf of our group, the Namibian former Robben Island political prisoners, and also in extent to our comrades of South Africa, political prisoners, extend our gratitude and appreciation to our two governments, and in particular our two ministers who really succeeded to have this operation and undertaking made a reality. I hope the Namibian people, the Namibian people, as well as the families of the late comrades, have also expressed their happiness and their gratitude, although it's an emotional moment. This is a historic undertaking, what our two governments did, to pay respect to our fallen heroes who brought about peace, stability, and developments in our two countries that we are enjoying today. So I would really like to express our gratitude and at the same time also give credit to the Iziko Museum for preserving the remains of those numerous or scores of Namibians, skeletons or remains, who died in various circumstances in the country, and some apparently died also while working on the mines in South Africa and at various places. This is also a great honor to our people. At the same time, I would also like to thank the Robben Island Museum for working so hard, tirelessly hard, to make this undertaking success, because we came here last year, first for the reunion, which was organized by our two ministers. We met our colleagues, our friends, our comrades who spent years with us on Robben Island. And this year, we came here, I think in July. Again, our two ministers organized this program to prepare for the repatriation of these bodies, of these remains. And today, we are here to carry these remains back home. What a successful, and even if it's an emotional and painful operation, we are also thankful to have succeeded and got the remains of our and of our people who are kept here, so that we can take them back home and get a dignified burial in the country of their. So with these few words, I'm ready to thank you very much. Robben Island life was not good. It was a tough life, and then it's not easy to describe, but we succeeded to overcome that, and we have also succeeded to bury apartheid in our two countries. We say, long live the Republic of South Africa, long live the Republic of Namibia. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Martin Kapawashe, and your comrade. And I think I must also, on behalf of the technical organizing committee, thank the two of you and the comrade at Robben Island Museum. Is it Mr. Philly, right? Piri, yes. I think your presence in the delegation was also very, very helpful in telling the narrative and the stories of what you had to endure at Robben Island, and also affording us an opportunity to understand visually the setup and the context in which we commemorate and celebrate the comrades. So thank you that you have been part of the team, and thank you also for having then spoken on behalf of all the former Robben Island prisoners from the Namibian perspective. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much indeed. I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to call upon now Mr. Paul Masimula, Secretary General with Association of Ex-Political Prisoners here in South Africa. Mr. Masimula, please, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I just want to greet to pass my the revolutionary greetings to the Honorable Minister, Gayton Mackenzie, and the two ministers actually. The minister from Namibia also, of Arts and Culture, and former, and the DDG, Mr. Ndima, and our colleagues, former Robben Island political prisoners, Comrade Martin Kapawashe, and the other comrade, which I forgot his name also. Oh, yes. And the families, actually, of the bereaved two comrades, Festus Nehale and Petros Nilenge. Comrades and friends. On behalf of the Association of the Ex-Political Prisoners, yes, indeed, Comrade Kapawashe has covered a lot of, introspection, that this program of the repatriation, the preservation, and also the memorialization of memories of former political prisoners and the liberation war veterans, it is paramount. As we are embarking on a new journey, coming from the second reunion of the ex-political prisoners, last year hosted by the Honorable Minister, the second chapter or the second phase of it is of the remains of the two departed soldiers. So we are very much thankful for the department, actually, under the Ministry of Arts and Culture, and Robben Island and other organizations that were part and parcel of the process of the exhumations. So I'm going to render, on behalf of the association, a poem retrospectively for the mortal remains of our fallen heroes. It says as follows, in inverted commas: "We are proud of our heroes who paid the ultimate cost. Although we have won wars, many battles we have lost. So we stand here in silence, tall, proud and bold, remembering the lost souls that never grew old. We feel a debt as our heads hang in sorrow because of our today. They gave their tomorrow." Close quote. So on behalf of the association, we are very much thankful that at least the chapter Liberation Heritage Route is on track of burying our soldiers and also on preserving the memories of all those fallen heroes on Robben Island and also in Namibia. What we saw in Namibia on the previous occasion is we are very much part of the Namibian government by restoring and preserving the liberation, war veterans. That includes the ex-political prisoners chapter at the Liberation Museum in Namibia. By preserving their memories as interlocutors of change and as interlocutors of democracy and also as liberation war veterans, that their memories, together with former political prisoners here on Robben Island, should not be forgotten. Our new CEO, Ms. Leanne Williams, we are actually proud that we have met with her. There is a program unfolding currently that we are going to work together with her on memorializing the heritage of and the legacy of ex-political prisoners. That includes Mrs. Ayanda, who's sitting there. Now, on my closing remarks, that as we repatriate the two comrades so that they can go and rest with their ancestors, there are key recommendations formally that we wanted to declare in this, Comrade Minister, that from the association point of view, how do we carry the Liberation Heritage Route through Robben Island Museum? That formally REM, and together with their Namibian counterparts, they must formally recognize ex-political prisoners as a stakeholder community and community of experience. Secondly, they must restore the meaningful participation of ex-political prisoners in museum governance, interpretation, exhibitions, education, and public programming. And also, to document and preserve oral histories, release journeys, names, testimonies, and related heritage objects. Strengthen collaboration with former political prisoners communities, including the Mexico Islas Marias. Incorporate the Namibian political prisoners narrative more strongly into future museum programs. These are key elements that we are going to focus this year so that we can be able to be in line of honoring those that have departed. Comrade Minister. That program has been finalized, which will be handed over to the CEO so that the marching orders can be observed, and then we can work together in honoring those that have passed on through the memories, recordings, telling their stories, and also observing their cultural heritage. So, in all of this, on my closing remarks, I would like to thank all those that took part in this program. And on behalf of the association, we are saying the very same two comrades that abarobale kakutso, let them go and rest with their ancestors, and pass our revolutionary greetings to Comrade Adimba Toivoya Toivo and other revolutionaries that are lying there at the Heroes Ark in Namibia, and let them rest in peace. Amanda. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I want to thank my speakers that you are, as you can see, we have quite a packed program. I'm happy that you are keeping to time. Let's keep that momentum so that we conclude the program within the assigned times. If you read our two policies of repatriation, that of South Africa and Namibia, the South African policy having been already approved, and our policy also being at the very advanced stage. If you read the two policies, you will see that both policies put communities at the center of every mission that is about repatriation and restitution. And in that context, I have the distinct honor to invite Emmanuel Gassep to speak on behalf of all the traditional authorities of Namibia. In the delegation, we have traditional authorities from Awambo, Herero, Nama-speaking communities, the San, and then the Damara. So, Gaup, may I please invite you to the podium to speak on behalf of all the Namibian traditional authorities. Gaup is the chairperson of the Council of Traditional Authorities in Namibia.
Thank you. Good morning. I don't know about the future. I cannot foretell the future, the path that lie ahead. And it makes me happy that only you, Heavenly Father, knows about the future.
Honorable Dr. Sanet Steenkamp, Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sport, Arts and Culture of the Republic of Namibia. Honorable Gaydon Mackenzie, Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture of the Republic of South Africa. Your Excellency Frida Nangula Msete, the High Commissioner of the Republic of Namibia to the Republic of South Africa. Ombara Sem Kamazembe of the Kamazembe Royal House. Gaup David Hanse of the Karakoan Traditional Community, and chairperson of the Nama Traditional Leaders Association. The names I mentioned now is the leaders in Namibia from the different traditional tribes. I think they have also stand up so that you can see them. They are together with me. Thank you. There is also senior councillors, representatives, leaders. The leaders are not here but they represent the leaders here. To Francina Kau, and senior traditional councillor Master Namen Guise Ngamse. That is the name of the San traditional leaders. Family members of the late Comrade Festus Nahale and the late Comrade Simon Petrus Nelinge. Former Robben Island political prisoners, Comrade Martin Kapewasa and Comrade Willem Diva. Chairperson of the South African Heritage Resource Agency, Mrs. Eloti Tuhale. Doctor of Arts and Culture and head of the Namibia delegation for the mission, Mr. Manfred Guy. Chairperson of the Council of Museum of South Africa, Ms. M. Rudley. Chairperson of the Robben Island Museum, Professor Sat Goba. CEOs of Iziko South African Museum and the Heritage Council of Namibia. All other dignitaries and technocrats in attendance, members of the print and electronic media. Director of Ceremony, ladies and gentlemen, indeed it was for me as the chairperson of the Council of Traditional Leaders in Namibia, both a duty and a privilege to witness the exhumation of the human remains of one of the two liberation struggle fighters and former political prisoners, Comrade Festus Nihale, from the grave at the Midland Cemetery in Cape Town, Republic of South Africa. The late Comrade Festus Nihale, who was a prisoner at Robben Island, did well is a custody and buried in 1971, some 55 years ago, was a prince since he was the grandchild of the highly respected national hero, the late Umkanilwa Nehale Galbigane, the king of the Ondongwa traditional community in northern Namibia. Just like his late grandfather, who faced armed resistance against the Deutschland trekkers and German colonial forces, Comrade Festus Nehale also took arms to liberate the beloved country of birth from illegal occupation. Being a traditional leader myself, it was an honor for me to witness how the bones of this member of the royal family, Prince Festus Nehale, liberation struggle combatant of the People's Liberation Arm of Namibia plan, were removed from their buried place. Given the digging up of the remains of the late Comrade Simon Petrus Nelinge at Kugeletu Cemetery was done at the same time was that of the Comrade Festus Nehale, who died in 1974, while also in prison is a political prisoner at Robben Island, Mbara Sem Gambazembi, and Gaup David Hanse represent Namibia traditional leaders there. It was also a good move that Gaup David Hanse and Mbara Sem Gambazembi were at the graveside where from the remains of the Comrade Simon Petrus Nelinge were dug up. This was befitting because the king or Mkanilwa of the Ungwaluti traditional community, where from Comrade Simon Petrus Nilinge hails from attending the other equally important tasks of Namibia. The process of digging up the remains was done in the strictly regulated, as well as very professional and expert manner, by combined teams of Namibia and South Africa, as well as by the register and certified undertakers in the presence of Namibia Police and South African Police Service. Both exercises were presided by the performance of the cultural leaders of the Ovambo traditional community, where from both the Comrade Festus Nahale and the late Comrade Simon Petrus Nilinge hail from. Comrade Festus Nahale and Comrade Simon Petrus Nilinge were brave warriors who dedicate their lives to the struggle of their people. The heroic sacrifice via their participation as a plant fighters complemented and reinforced the aim of the successful Namibian revolution. What is so sad and is straining me emotionally is that these comrades left their loved ones behind to join the liberation struggle. They were captured, brought here to South Africa, alive in prison at Robben Island, and died whilst they were political prisoners. What pains my heart and the heart of their relatives is what we are taking home. Only the bones of Comrade Festus Nehale and Comrade Simon Petrus Nilinge. My prayer is the brave families will get closer once the remains of these two comrades are reburied in the Heroes' Acre in Namibia. There, at the Heroes' Acre, their relatives will be able to visit the graves of these national heroes anytime and for as many times that they will so wish. Director of Proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to appreciate and applaud the decision taken by the government of the Republic of Namibia to repatriate the 84 human remains of our ancestors that were kept at the Iziko South African Museum in Cape Town. It is so disturbing to have learned that the remains of our ancestors of Ovambo, Damara, Nama, Obaherero, and San descent were brought here for scientific research purpose. Sadly, we do not even know the circumstances of their death. Hupti kuru au na tiku prangong aba mai ha tik ngong aba ke tanga heba. Ke unu pra kuru ya ku brang an ka hupti kums na dai kana ke sa tiku na trio ting le ba ha ngadi proof na indi kudi kredi.
A human being created by God has taken the bodies, the remains of others who were also equally created by God in His image and carried out scientific research. Human beings of which they are doubting that they are also human beings just like them, to find out whether their brains are functioning the same way as theirs.
Their souls will only find rest when their bones will be reburied in the land of the brave and reunite with their spirits in the land of brave. Last but not the least, at all, allow me to call upon Africa and Namibia of our two countries so that they accorded dignified burial. At mislage keisra kansira kumakan neng hupte kai tu yaun. Sin Namibia tik win kai tu yaun sin kan hong are sin nesisen unis ko se sini toa sida kaban ain ha sin ti de sida ti kwendi kon kara kaini ha kisa.
With this, I would like to thank the government of the Republic of South Africa and the government of the Republic of Namibia that they will continue to search for other remains that are buried in Africa who struggle for origin. May God be with all of us as we are seated and united here, so that we will be able to execute this assignment to its fullest conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Gab. Excellencies, quick technical teams from both countries to just rise so that the honorable ministers and the excellencies appreciate those who worked behind the scenes. A resounding success. So you can rise so that you can appreciate your work. As you see, because you have been our leaders on this mission, I think we need to give them a loud round of applause. So those were the two co-chairs, Mr. Gaib from the Republic of Namibia and Ms. Malau from the Republic of South Africa. I think they have done a wonderful job. Thank you so much. And we all know that arts and culture, Mr. Excellencies, role during the liberation struggle. The sector also now continue to play a role in development, in sustainable development. But during the liberation struggle, songs, poems, and all this really played a role in uniting comrades and compatriots during wars. And also, we've also learned that in Robben Island, arts and culture also was a daily activity. And in that respect, I want to invite Mr. Reynold Magundu, a PhD student at Stellenbosch University, Namibian, studying in South Africa, to relate to us a brief poem in honoring our comrades. Magundu, please.
Thank you very much, distinguished invited guests, traditional leaders, families, fellow Namibians and fellow South Africans, and all protocols observed. Good afternoon. Good morning. My name is but today it's not about me. Today is for those whose spirits have waited in grace. Today is for the soil that remembers their names, their roots, and their place. And so I stand here not to merely recite a poem, but I stand here to summon the voices that will bring us home. We have been summoned not by government, ceremony, or command, but by the voices of our forefathers carried across generations, calling to remember who we are and who we must be. They have called us to bring them home, to return their bodies to the soil that carries their name, and to take them home to the land of their ancestors, where memory lives, where families wait, and where nothing is ever quite the same. For 55 years, they have rested far from the land where their journeys began. Yet they were never forgotten. They were never abandoned, never erased from the memory of the people and their land. Today, we count for 86 souls of Namibia, 2 sons who endured the prison and 84 ancestors whose journeys were never forgotten. 2 names we call today: late Comrade Simon Pietres Nilenge and Comrade Festus Nele. 84 lives whose stories traveled silently. You were taken from home, and home never let you go. In their hand. For 55 years, his hands were and absent. But today, as the sea across, we call you by your name. If you can hear us, we see you, we remember you, we recognize your presence, and we are grateful for the sacrifice that brought us here today. You gave your youth to a freedom you would have loved to see. You carried a nation in your hearts and fought for every life you have a rightful part. In South Africa, your soil held them when Namibia could not. Your cemeteries became their resting places. Your earth became the home that history gave. So today, we do not come here to erase the years or to pretend that those years never were. We have come here to honor the hospitality of this soil and the history that binds South Africa and Namibia together. This is because we in Namibia and South Africa are aligned on the map, brothers and sisters shaped by one struggle, one history, one wound, and one liberation that no border could trap. Apartheid tried to divide us, to separate our people, our lands, and our dreams, but freedom traveled beyond borders, through valleys, across oceans, through prisons, and resisted movements. Robben Island was indeed a place of darkness, where the sea separated men from their mothers, children, their homes, and the soil that gave them their names. It was a place of suffering, of silence, of years trapped between the ocean. But darkness could not imprison the human life. A dream free without any permission. They were imprisoned, never imprisoned them. Nelson was right. A place of suffering. It became a place where the human spirit rose above in its chains, where prisoners became architects of freedom, and where a handful of men to imagine a future they could never live to see. Today, we are standing inside that future. And perhaps that is why we have come here, not to simply collect the remains of our heroes, but to tell them, your freedom, and we have not forgotten who paid for it. And today, we remember Robben Island not only as a place of pain and despair, but as a place where the human spirit rose above suffering, where courage was born in darkness, and where freedom found its prayers. And so our late brother Nilenge retrieved from Guguletu, and our late brother Nilenge from Maitland, hear us today. The long night is ending. The journey is changing, and the road home is finally opening its way. You have slept beneath foreign skies for 55 years, beneath a soil that was never meant to be your final home. But today, we have come to tell you, you no longer have to wander, and you no longer have to remain alone. Atueni Kewumbo. Your people are waiting, your families are waiting, your ancestors are waiting too, and perhaps the drums have already begun announcing that they, their sons, are finally coming home. On the 26th of August, you will return to the Heroes' Acre to sit beside comrades who walked this road before. Besides your brothers in struggle, you lie while the members watch from. And there, our founding father, Dr. Sam Safishuna Nuyoma rest. May he welcome you home and honor you amongst the best. And this is for your courage, your sacrifice, your service, your fight. May the ancestors receive you with honor. But taking heroes home, it is asking the living, what does freedom mean? Today, South Africa opens its hands and says to Namibia, your sons were kept here. Their memory was held with our care, and we respond. Thank you, South Africa. Thank you, South Africa. So to our forefathers, we heard you when you called. We came when you summoned. We found you where history had left you. And now, after 55 years, we are taking you home. Let this day be remembered not simply as the day we returned our dead, but as the day two nations stood together and honored the blood, the courage, and the dreams from which they were bred. Because you gave us freedom to cross the borders that once divided us, we now cross them freely, not as prisoners, but as students, as dreamers, as Africans seeking knowledge from home, yet carrying home with us. We study in South Africa because you made it possible. World. Because you gave us the freedom to build. And perhaps this is what that the freedom you fought for must not end with our freedom remembering you, but live on in the freedom we chose to renew. Go home to the soil that remembers you, our brothers, to the families who waited through the years, and to the nation whose freedom you helped carry through blood, sacrifice, and tears. Go home, our heroes. Thank you.
Thank you, my young brother. I think that was a befitting and beautiful poem to honor our comrades. It is now my distinct honor to invite respectfully Her Excellency, the High Commissioner of Namibia to South Africa, to introduce, and on our behalf as directors of proceedings, invite the Honorable Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports and Culture of Namibia, Dr. Sanet Steenkamp, to the podium. Your Excellency.
Program directors, allow me to stand on the established protocol of liberty. A few distinguished guests, since we greatly value today. Honorable Minister Kayton Mackenzie, Sport, Art and Culture of the Republic of South Africa, Honorable Dr. Sanet Steenkamp, Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports Arts, Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture of the Republic of South Africa, distinguished family members of the departed compatriots, Ambassador Martin Kapewasha, chairpersons of Council of Traditional Leaders of Namibia, Iziko Museum of South Africa, South Africa Heritage Resource Agency, Robben Island Museums. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We gather here today for a solemn and deeply significant occasion, the handing over of the human remains of our two former Namibian political prisoners, Comrade Simon Petrus Nilenge and Comrade Festus Nehale, who were incarcerated on Robben Island alongside 84 ancestral remains of San, Nama, Damara of Aherero, and Awambo from Namibia. Those compatriots endured imprisonment and hardship as part of the broader struggle for Namibia's freedom and independence. Their sacrifice forms part of the history upon which our nation was built. The return of their remains to Namibia represents more than a conclusion of a long wait for their families and descendants. It's an act of restoration, restoring dignity to those who suffered, perceiving their memories and bringing them home to the land to which they are and so many others sacrificed for. The occasion also reflects the enduring bond between Namibia and South Africa, forged through a shared history of struggle, solidarity, and liberation. We are grateful to those who have contributed to ensuring that our departed compatriots can finally return home. Program Director, Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, it's now my distinct honor to introduce Honorable Dr. Sanet Steenkamp, Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts and Culture of the Republic of Namibia. Honorable Minister Steenkamp is a distinguished educationist and a public servant with more than 3 decades of experience in Namibia's education and national development sectors. She has served in senior leadership positions, including a Regional Director for Education, the Executive Director in the Ministry responsible for education, where she made significant contribution to education reform and institutional development. It's particularly befitting that Honorable Steenkamp is with us today because her portfolio carries the main important responsibility of ensuring that the history, sacrifice, and legacy of those who fought for our freedom are remembered and transmitted for future generations. It's now my distinct honor to invite Honorable Dr. Sanet Steenkamp, Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts and Culture of the Republic of Namibia to deliver her remarks. Honorable Minister, the floor is yours. I thank you.
Please be seated. It's still very awkward. Esteemed program directors, Honorable Mr. Gayton Mackenzie, Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture of the Republic of South Africa, Honorable Ms. Peace Mabe, South African Deputy Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, how delighted we are. Her Excellency Ambassador Frida Nangula Ithete, High Commissioner of Namibia to South Africa, Gaup Emmanuel Grasip, Chairperson of the Council of Traditional Leaders of Namibia, and all the representatives of traditional authorities of both South Africa and Namibia. Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, senior government officials from both South Africa and Namibia, our representatives and leaders of Iziko Museums of South Africa, the Robben Island Museum, South African Heritage Resource Agency, and the Missing Persons Task Team of South Africa, representatives of the University of Namibia, the National Heritage Council of Namibia, and National Museums of Namibia, representatives of the families of our fallen liberation heroes, and the veterans and former political prisoners of Namibia as well as South Africa, representatives of civil society in the cultural and heritage sectors, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Minister, I'm actually at a loss of words. It's an honor being here with you all on behalf of the Republic of Namibia, the government of the Republic of Namibia and its people, and in particular on behalf of Her Excellency, our President, Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah, who is also the chief mourner and who is unable to be with us in person on this solemn and very historic occasion. Our President extends her profound respect to all the families, traditional authorities, the veterans, former political prisoners, and all those gathered here today as we welcome our ancestors and our fallen compatriots home. Equally, the President extends a gratitude to the Republic of South Africa for your hard work and for honoring this significant historic moment. And therefore, myself, I'm here with a deep sense of humility, gratitude, and historical responsibility. The Namibians in the room present and those listening to us are ready to take home. We have one profound purpose. We have come to bring back home our compatriots. We have not come simply to be recipients or to transfer human remains from one country to another. We are here to welcome home people who have been separated from their families, communities, and homeland during a painful period of our shared colonial history. Some of these ancestors were taken from their communities and became part of colonial scientific and museum collections where they were treated as objects, rather as peoples, people with names, with identities, and communities. Others, like the late Festus Nehale and Simon Petrus Nilenge, were taken from their homelands because they stood against colonial oppression and fought for the freedom of Namibia. They were imprisoned, as we heard from the various speakers before, on Robben Island, far from home, and they died in captivity. For too long, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to also underscore the importance of our presence today in making sure that the ancestral remains of the 84 mentioned return to Namibia, taken from their communities under colonial order and denied Namibia its sovereignty. They leave that history behind, but now return to a free and sovereign Namibia. One can say that they left as a subject, each one of them, of a colonial order. However, with their return to Namibia, they are now citizens of a free and sovereign republic. They do not return as specimens, not as museum holdings, not as forgotten remains. They return as our ancestors, our people, and part of the national story of a free Namibia. If I may just ask for a sip of water. It's right there. Thank you. I think it's just befitting. We have been subjected to many speakers. We've been feeling emotions that no camera or videographer can capture. All of us, as we sit here, experience a deep sense of emotion that only us, when we internalize that, Honorable Gayton Mackenzie, can say what it is. So I want us to turn to the person on your left and just say, I see you with my heart. I see you with my heart. Thank you. For too long, ladies and gentlemen, human remains were treated within the colonial and apartheid systems as specimens, research materials, or museum objects. But they were never simply objects. As I said earlier, they had names, they had identities, they belonged to a people, to a household, to a family, to a community, to a nation. Death does not take away a person's humanity, nor does it sever the ties and the relationship between the deceased and their families, their communities, and their homelands. And that is why, when we were listening to all the speakers, and especially the family members, you could hear that they carry with them the weight of memory, the weight of the absence of their loved ones in their midst. And therefore, the placing of these ancestors that we witness here today as we entered, the placing of these ancestors in coffins, ladies and gentlemen, rather than continuing to treat them as specimens in boxes, is in itself part of the process of rehumanization. We are restoring as far as we can the dignity that was denied to them when they were separated from their communities and incorporated into museum collections. Therefore, the return of our ancestral remains is fundamentally different from the ordinary return of museum objects, because a human being, surely, as we've experienced, is not an artifact. Repatriation in itself recognizes ethical recognition of human personhood and the continuing of cultural, spiritual, and family relationships between the living and those who came before us. But it also places a responsibility on the governments, on the museums, on researchers, and heritage practitioners to ensure that the language that we use, the classifications, and the practices through which these histories are represented indeed reflect the dignity of the people whose remains we are receiving. Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most important principles demonstrated by this process is that repatriation cannot be done to communities. We've heard it. Both South Africa's policy on repatriation and Namibia's draft policy are having the communities, the people, their voices, their agencies at the center of repatriation. So repatriation can never be done to communities. It must be done with the communities, as we've witnessed here. Our traditional authorities have therefore guided us for the past weeks on the cultural and spiritual, but also the customary aspects of this process. Equally, the families of the late Nehale and the families of Mr. Simon Petrus Nilenge were consulted throughout, from day one. They participated in the process, they gave their consent, and they lived through the experience of the exhumation. Being present here today, to facilitate family reconciliation, healing, and true experience that will be shared with the future generations. So it's not a matter of courtesy that we have our traditional authorities present. It's not a matter of courtesy that we made sure that the families are present. They acknowledge that the remains, the mortal remains, as well as the ancestral remains, should not be seen as belonging to government or institutions. They are people connected to families, communities, ancestors, and our lands. And therefore, this principle, Honorable Mackenzie, must continue to guide our future work as a collective. This is also why provenance research remains so important. And to the technical teams who spent so many hours and days and weeks together, our heartfelt gratitude. Thank you that we in Namibia could learn from you, and thank you that you were open to also receive the expertise and contributions from Namibia. Can we give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? And therefore, I wish to acknowledge with gratitude the many researchers, historians, archaeologists, heritage practitioners, museum professionals, archivists, families, the traditional authorities and institutions in both South Africa and Namibia, whose work over many years and for the past months helped bring us to this historic moment. Indeed, the late Festus Nehale and Simon Petrus Nilenge deserves particular remembrance today, because they were among those Namibians whose lives became part of the struggle against colonialism, racial oppression, and apartheid. Our national anthem reminds us, glory to their bravery, whose blood waters our freedom. And these are not merely poetic words, ladies and gentlemen. They remind us that the freedom that we enjoy today and that we cannot take for granted come at a price, and we honor that sacrifice. This homecoming has been made possible because Africa and Namibia have chosen deliberately to confront a difficult shared history. And we've done so with honesty, with courage, and with cooperation. Our histories, as you know, are deeply intertwined, and our people experience colonialism, racial oppression, displacement, imprisonment, and the struggle for freedom. And this is a history that we cannot erase, neither change, but we chose how we wish to respond to it. We are turning a painful history into an opportunity for dignity, healing, and restoration. On behalf of the government and the people of Namibia, I therefore express my sincere appreciation to the government of the Republic of South Africa, and in particular to Honorable Gayton Mackenzie and your ministry. I cannot tell you, Honorable Minister, how grateful we are. We had an opportunity to bring specialists and experts together and honor a promise that was made through cooperation. Your leadership and tenacity have helped make this moment possible. We also recognize the contributions of the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, Iziko Museums of South Africa, Robben Island Museum, the South African Heritage Resource Agency, the Missing Persons Task Team, and the many South African officials, heritage practitioners, researchers, forensic experts, archivists, and others who contributed to this process. So our Namibia traditional authorities, the families, our veteran and former political prisoners, our researchers, heritage institutions, our technical teams, and government ministries and institutions. Thank you. Our profound sense of gratitude. This has been a collective national undertaking, ladies and gentlemen. However, our responsibility does not end here today. To the families of the late Festus Nehale and Simon Petrus Nilinge, we know that no ceremony can return the years that you spent without your loved ones. And no words can erase the pain of that absence. But today, we finally say that your loved ones are coming home. They're coming home to Namibia, to their people. Thank you for being here. We honor you with everyone, along with our veterans and political prisoners. You carry the memories, Tate Kapewasha and Mr. Biva, and the South African counterparts that cannot be found in archives. You said it will take a day, a full day, for us to work through your testimonies and your lived experience. As we send these ancestors and our two freedom fighters home, we therefore recognize, Honorable Mackenzie, this moment for what it truly is. It is a moment when national dignity is restored. We pray that the stories of all our loved ones will continue to guide our nations, and that we may, as the generation entrusted with this memory, ensure that they are never again reduced to what history once made them. Our future generation must learn and understand what this process of rehumanization entails. Today, we bring our people home. Tomorrow, we carry their memory forward as we return to Namibia. On the 24th of August, they will be accorded a dignified burial at the National Heroes Acre. And on the 26th of August, on Heroes Day, the tombstone for the late Nehale and the late Lilenge will be unveiled with other key liberation struggle heroes. Ladies and gentlemen, from Namibia, we appreciate you and we value you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, Dr. Steenkamp. Now I'm going to call upon our Honorable Deputy Minister, Honorable Peace Mabe, to come and make remarks and also introduce the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Honorable Minister Gayton Mackenzie. Deputy Minister, over to you.
Thank you very much, program directors, sign language interpreters, Honorable, thank you, Honorable Gayton Mackenzie, Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture of the Republic of South Africa, Honorable Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts and Culture of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Sanet Steenkamp, Her Excellency Ambassador Nangula Itete, High Commissioner of Namibia to South Africa, representatives of the governments of South Africa and Namibia, traditional leaders of South Africa and Namibia present, chairpersons and executive officers of our public entities, representatives of heritage institutions, representatives of families of our fallen liberation heroes, veterans and former political prisoners, representatives of civil society and the cultural heritage sectors, Excellencies, distinguished guests, Dumelang. Today marks a profoundly significant moment in the history of our two nations. We have gathered here not only to witness a ceremonial handover, but to participate in an act of justice, dignity, healing, and restoration. We stand before the mortal remains of two former Robben Island political prisoners and 84 ancestral human remains of Namibian descent, whose journeys home have been far too long. Their return represents our collective determination to restore dignity to those who suffered dispossession, oppression, and dehumanization under colonialism and apartheid. Last Thursday, the 13th of August 2026, remains of the Republic of Namibia, Namibia's two former political prisoners, Mr. Petrus Nilenge and Mr. Festus Nahale, were exhumed from cemeteries in Maitland and Guguletu. This process was undertaken with utmost care, respect, and reverence. It was not merely an archaeological or administrative exercise. It was an act of humanity, acknowledging the sacrifices and identity of those who reinstated injustice and paid the ultimate price in the struggle for freedom and justice. This milestone is also a testament to the strong bonds of friendship and solidarity between the Republic of South Africa and the Republic of Namibia. It demonstrates what can be achieved when nations work together to confront painful histories and correct the wrongs of the past. The repatriation of these remains is the result of the sustained collaboration between our governments, our heritage institutions, traditional leaders, descendants, and many dedicated officials who have worked tirelessly to ensure that these individuals are returned home with the honor and dignity they deserve. On Friday, the 21st of August 2026, these remains will begin their final journey home to the Republic of Namibia. They will be transported in a dignified manner befitting their status as ancestors, freedom fighters, and symbols of resilience. Tsamayang ka kgotso, le berekile, le robaleng sentle. Ladies and gentlemen, this vision of restoration and solidarity was strengthened in July last year when the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture of South Africa, Honorable Gayton McKenzie, and his Namibian counterpart, Honorable Dr. Sanet Steenkamp, met in Namibia. During that engagement, they made a solemn commitment to the peoples of both countries that the unfinished work of restoring dignity to those affected by colonial injustice would remain a shared priority. Upon his return from Namibia, Minister McKenzie led the second reunion of former Robben Island political prisoners in September 2025. Through that significant gathering, our department honored not only the leaders of South Africa's liberation movements, but also recognized the invaluable contribution of the Namibian liberation leaders to the struggle for freedom in South Africa. Among those honored was the late Andimba Toivoya Toivo, together with his South African comrades. His legacy was recognized as part of shared struggle that transcended borders and united our peoples in pursuit of freedom and justice. On that same occasion, a memorial wall bearing the names of liberation fighters was unveiled, ensuring that their stories and sacrifices would remain permanently etched in our collective memory. Ladies and gentlemen, it is therefore my distinct honor and privilege to introduce a leader whose unwavering commitment to heritage, restoration, and repatriation continues to inspire this important work. And as I do so, please sing along with me as we join our hands together and welcome the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture of the Republic of South Africa, Honorable Gayton McKenzie, to deliver the keynote address on behalf of the Republic of South Africa. The Holy Spirit must come down, and Africa will be saved. Holy Spirit must come down, and Africa will be saved. And Africa will be saved. And Africa will be saved. The Holy Spirit must come down, and Africa will be saved. I present Minister Gayton McKenzie.
Please be seated. Thank you for that beautiful song. Honorable Dr. Sonnet Steenkamp, thank you. I will, during my speech, mention why I'm saying thank you. Deputy Minister Peace Mabe, serving with you is one of the greatest pleasures of my life. I want to acknowledge the chaplain, Colonel Diba. I want to acknowledge the chairperson of the Council of the Iziko Museums, Mr. Marvin Mdluli. I want to also recognize the chairperson of the South African Heritage Resource Agency, and the overview that was given by Ms. Elodie Hlaulele. A statement by the representative of the late Festus, Comrade Festus Nehale family. You know, to have a family member coming to speak, it is only then when you really, truly acknowledge and understand the work that we've been doing. And I want to acknowledge the Mayor Frida Gideon of the Nilenge family of Comrade Petrus Nilenge. I would like to acknowledge Haupt Emmanuel Gasep. I would like to acknowledge the chairperson of the Robben Island Museum. I would like to acknowledge the CEO, the different CEOs of Iziko, CEO of the Robben Island Museum. I would like to acknowledge our traditional leaders that are here, of South Africa and Namibia. I would like to acknowledge the families that are present, the ambassadors that are present. I feel like a son to you now, Ambassador, you and Comrade Vivo. I feel like I've known you for a long time now. You make me very happy always when you forget my name. It humbles me greatly, and we need to be humbled at times. I would like to acknowledge our program directors, our interpreters, the high commissioners, the ambassadors that are present. Ladies and gentlemen, we gather here in Cape Town, whose island prison once held these comrades. But we gather here today to send them home. Today is not an ordinary day. It is a moment in history in which we return mortal remains and cultural objects from the Republic of South Africa to the Republic of Namibia. Let me stop right there to thank the Namibian people. I'm going to be very frank in what I'm going to say. Where South Africa has gone through a very bad 3 months where we were accused of being a xenophobic country. So much so that when our national team was getting ready to go and play at the World Cup, our football team, there were certain countries on this continent that was very clear that South Africa should lose, and they called us all sorts of names. And life has taught me many things, but the one lesson that life taught me is you see your friends when you go through difficulty. You see your family when you go through being falsely accused. And during that time, what stood out for me was not what our enemies or people that call themselves our enemies said about us, but what Namibians said about us, what stood out for me. Namibians stood by us. Namibians were even wearing T-shirts of Bafana Bafana. Namibians were openly saying, "Go Bafana Bafana." And ladies and gentlemen, for Namibians, you might think that was a small act. That was not. You showed that you are our brothers, not only in struggle, but also in difficult periods. Long live the relationship between our brothers and sisters in Namibia and us as South Africans. Long live. I want to speak about Dr. Sanet Steenkamp. You know, people will never say this to you, but I'm going to say this today. Have you ever had a person that you promised that you going to meet with them, and you meet them eventually after 3 months after you've been promising you'll meet with them, and then the first thing you say is like, but when are we having that coffee? No, you full well you never had any plans to have that coffee. Now, Prof, that happens sometimes with ministers. We talk about something, and we're excited about it, and time will pass and we will forget about that promise. When we meet each other again at some bilateral meeting, we'll be like, hey, don't forget, we still have those plans. You remember, comrade, we still, and that is a regular occurrence. But in this instance, I met a person that means what she says and says what she means. She said to me, and I'll never forget it, Minister, you must understand we have to do this. I'm not serving under anybody. My president is a doer. Where that woman puts her mind to something, and I was listening to her, and she said, my president, you don't understand. When she gives you an instruction, you must run with it. And she told me, make sure that what belongs to Namibia must return to Namibia. And we spoke, and we didn't miss one deadline. Because of you being a woman of action, today it is happening. What your president has instructed you to do. In me, you've met somebody that got the same instruction. The president appointed me, and one of the key things that I know is very close to our president's heart, President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, is to make sure that during his term, all the forgotten soldiers that fought for our liberation are being returned to South Africa to sleep at home and not sleep in foreign countries. Now, what makes this very significant today, ladies and gentlemen, for some people, you will not understand what this means today. You see, our young people must know that this freedom was not free. 1974 was the year I was born. In 1974 was the year that these two comrades was arrested. And for 52 years, they've never been freed. But today, they're going home. They are free. And Namibia is free because they were locked up. Minister Masemula, I got great respect for you, because speaking to you always make me never forget why I was appointed. There's a story that I was once told, ladies and gentlemen, about the man that worked at the bridge that closed and opened for ships. It's one of the favorite stories somebody once told me. And this man's job was, whenever there's a train coming next to the water, or a boat comes, he must lift the bridge up, DM. That's his job. So he looks at the schedule and he sees tomorrow 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, there are a train or a boat coming, I must lift up the bridge. So one day, they looked at the schedule and they saw on this particular day, there's no train or boat coming. So they thought it's a good time to service the bridge and to clean and to oil. And he came to work with his son. And his son, because the bridge was up, his son played under there because he knew the bridge must be up for him to service it. While he was busy servicing the bridge, he couldn't believe a train full of tourists was arriving. In that moment, he had one choice. He knew his son was playing under the bridge. And he had to make a choice. Do I save the life of my son? Or do I let everybody on that train pass away? He took a choice of a righteous person. He lowered the bridge, and he could hear his son's bones crash and scream, "Daddy, Daddy." And the tourists passed on the train. And when they passed, they were all greeting him. They were all smiling, greeting him. They were all happy, greeting him. And he looked at them and he said, "You will never know what I sacrificed for you." These comrades, and our youth should know, left their families, their children, in order to save us. We, as Namibians and South Africans, are the people in the train. And their families was crushed because the breadwinner was taken away. A father didn't see his son. A son didn't see his father because he was fighting a fight for freedom. It's so easy for us to forget that the freedom that South Africa and Namibia is enjoying didn't fall from the sky. It didn't come with Uber. People died. Here, today, is a living example of young people that was arrested because we are free today. They went to go fight for that freedom. So we need to make sure our young people and ourselves, we should never forget. One of the people in my office told me, I think the people are too impatient with you, with the changes you want to bring to Robben Island. I said, they're not impatient. They have no choice. They've seen too many of the veterans dying before every box that they fought for has been ticked. I want to assure the veterans of South Africa and the veterans of Namibia, in us, you have a minister that is clear and unapologetic about what we need to do. I always say, when I look at Dr. Sonette, I always say to her, Doc, we've got work to do. She's like, lots of work. We will not rest, Minister, until we've brought dignity to every family. I'm working on a project, Minister. Once it is done, I'll come to you, where the veterans that was on Robben Island must be paid a pension because they have stood and lived while other people were working. They were in prison for us. So I'm standing here today to say to you that that plan shall include the veterans of Namibia, because they were in the same prison, in the same conditions, and had the same treatment that South African prisons has received. I went to Glasgow. I went to Scotland to go and get the remains of our ancestors, the Khoi and the San. Because their remains were stolen and objectified. And I returned with them. 100+ of our leaders that has been taken to be put in museums at universities, that are shown as objects. We returned with our ancestors. But while I was sitting in the plane, I got deeply emotional when I opened the Bible. I was reading the Bible on the plane, and it says, I open it where scripture says, do unto others as you wish them to do unto you. And something came up, and I met with Iziko, Sarah, Disek, and I said to them, I'm giving you 90 days. And if they didn't know where that came from, I'm telling you now, I opened the Bible in the plane, I was reading it, and my eyes fell on scripture that says, do unto others which you want them to do unto you. And I realized I have been fighting like crazy for the remains of the Khoi and the San. But in our own museums, we are also having stolen artifacts. We are also having remains that don't belong to us. So when they say the truth of the word of life lies in the Bible, they are not lying. I gave Sarah, Iziko, Robben Island, DSEC, I gave them a deadline of 90 days. And Mr. Ndima, I want to say to you and your whole team, Advocate, I want to say to you and your whole team, I am deeply in awe of all of you, the people from DSEC, Tembi, Ndima, all of you, all of you guys. I'm deeply in awe of you because you have made the deadline of 90 days. Thank you. And I hope you can understand, because this is also the product of keeping that deadline. We, myself and Peace Mabe, we are not doing these things to be praised. We are doing these things because there are families that are waiting. Dr. Sanet is doing this because there are families that are waiting. Today, there are people that can say, our uncle is back. And to the Namibian government, thank you. Thank you for understanding that we as South Africans, we see you as our brothers and our sisters. Thank you for understanding that no country can allow people to come into their borders without paperwork. Thank you for respecting that. Thank you for walking this journey with us. This moment belongs to all of us. This is a South African and Namibian moment that should be cherished and respected. This moment, to my team, if the speakers on this stage today does not tell you what type of work you are doing, nothing will ever tell you. The traditional leaders are here, ambassadors are here, ministers are here, deputy ministers are here, men of God are here, but most importantly, the families are here. You will look back one day and you'll remember this day as one of the most important days of your career. Because words means nothing if it's not followed by action. And I'm very fortunate that I've inherited a team here that's an action team. I know I'm tough on you guys sometimes, but I know you must understand why is it that I'm tough. The government of national unity has given myself and Deputy Minister Peace Mabe this task to say, make sure that we bring back our leaders that fought for us. We are so quick to talk about great leaders like Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, which are great leaders. But they have done no different than what these leaders of us has done. They paid the ultimate price. So next time when you want to complain about anything, think about these two leaders. They paid the ultimate price. It was said here today, they didn't just die of old age. They died because of the harsh conditions. They died because they were tortured. People don't die immediately sometimes when you torture them. It was years of torture. Today, Namibia is free. South Africa is free because these leaders, and I thank God today that I could play a minimal role in making sure that these families will find closure. And I've got no doubt that the Namibian government will take it from here and give them a befitting farewell and involve the school children, Dr. Sanet. Involve the school children. We as government sometimes will say this children forget easily, but we don't create the framework. To the CEO of Robben Island, I'm giving you a public instruction. Make sure that the children on the Cape Flats get to go to Robben Island for free, because we've got a pandemic. Maybe they will understand that gangsterism is not the answer. I'm giving this instruction that schools must be allowed to come for free, and food must be bought for them when they get there. I will answer that. You know, if you grew up poor, you'll understand the meaning of. Yeah, I took my son, Honorable Sanet, to this school, to enroll him in this school. So, Deputy Minister Peace. So we get to the school in Fenton. So my son gets there, but you know when children start playing, because every parent now come for induction. Our children are now attending the school. So my son is making new friends while we are being told as parents what is expected of us. When they were done with us, they took us to, we went to go get our children in a room and a play park next to the room. But in the play park, there was great equipment. And in the room, there was so much food, sweets, chocolates. And I look at this bunch of kids, including mine. They have nothing to do with the chocolates, the sweets, the fourth rolls. They were just playing. So I asked my son, do you want something? He says, no, Daddy, I'm fine. I'm like, we are in trouble here. If it was us, even Patkos for the road, I'm like, you know. And then I realized, and other day I had a function in the community I grew up in, and we had food for the kids. There was nothing left. I said, these are the future. They don't waste. So when the children come to Robben Island, there must be food for our children. They must not be in a hurry to go back, to go and eat. They must feel they can be educated there. Lastly, to the staff, I want to teach you something today publicly. People, artists, has been suffering for many years in this country. Sports federations has been suffering for many years. Families have been waiting for the loved ones to be brought back. They have suffered. Now when people see hope, now some of you get angry because of the pressures we are getting and the demands we are getting from our traditional leaders, from our military veterans, from our people that was on the Robben Island, from our artists. But you must understand, when people see hope in you, they become impatient because they see you as the one where their help will come from. So you should not get angry with people for the pressure they put on our department. It's a sign that they know help can come from this department. All you need to do is keep on working. I know it's frustrating for people to expect things to change in one day, But here's an example. When we work together, we can get a desired result. And what I've said earlier, Namibians must not take it very lightly. What you've done for us when they were screaming, xenophobic, they must lose. And Namibians said, no, go Bafana Bafana, we are with you. South Africans, you are our brothers. Don't take that lightly. What you meant for us during that time of false accusations. To everybody that's here today, I want to thank you. And on behalf of the President, President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, I want to say to you that our country is moving forward. We are not where we want to be, but we are not where we used to be. We are getting somewhere. The GNU, somebody was asking me, a bank institution, and I'm finishing. How will the GNU, will it last? I said, what do you mean? He says, will the GNU last? Explain the GNU to me. This is a top banker, CEO of a bank. I said, I'm going to explain this to you. Like I explained it to my son. Jelly. Now, if you've grown up without a fridge, I'm not talking to you, the people that grew up with fridges. If you grew up without a fridge, you will know when your mother made jelly, Ambassador, and High Commissioner. She will put the jelly under a tree for it to set. I know it's difficult for you that had fridges, but just work with us here. She'll put the jelly under the fridge to set. When the jelly has set, she will then serve it. You can have your jelly with custard. You can have your jelly with ice cream. It's your choice. Or you can just have your jelly like that. Now the GNU has set like the jelly. It doesn't matter anymore which parties, which is the custard or the ice cream, is part of the GNU. It has set. We are firm as a country. The GNU is firm. We will change maybe 1 or 2 after November 4 or November 4. Don't worry, me, I'll not be changed after November 4. No, I'm just joking. The president has the prerogative. But even if the president changed Mackenzie, me being changed does not mean, of me being removed, does not mean the GNU is falling. It has set now. You can't change it. We're over the worst part. So South Africa's future people will go. I mean, Steenhuisen was there the other day. He's no longer there in cabinet, you know. These things are happening. But facts. So we must not, when you see somebody getting removed, you're like, Mackenzie is no longer there, the GNU is falling. No, the GNU is set. It is fine. So just prepare. Some people want ice cream, some people want custard. May God bless you. Thank you very much.
Going home. I'm going home. I'm going home to die no more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. for the keynote address. Now we're gonna do a joint signing of the official handover agreement between Iziko Museums of South Africa and the Namibian National Heritage Council. So I'm gonna call upon Dr. Bongani Ndlovu for of South Africa, who's the Chief Executive Officer. And then we're also gonna call upon Mr. Manfred Gaib, who will be the representative of the Namibian Heritage Council. So how it's gonna happen, Dr. Ndlovu, you'll sit on the right, and Mr. Gaib will sit on the left. And I would also like the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, our Honorable Minister, for media picture purposes to stand behind the CEO of Iziko Museums of South Africa, and Minister Honorable Dr. Steenkamp to stand behind Mr. Gaib. It's gonna be a quick process. It's not gonna take longer than 30 seconds for those who are worried about time. So, yes, we can go ahead, Minister. Mr. Gaib can come closer as well to the table. We can go ahead and sign. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Ndlovu, and handover agreement between the two institutions. We are nearing towards the end of the program, ladies and gentlemen. I am now gonna call upon the chairperson of Robben Island Museum, Professor Seth Cooper, to give us our closing remarks.
In the lingua of Robben Island, during its dungeon days, Ndiyabulisa nonke, manene manene gazi. Robben Island was proclaimed by President Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela 30 years ago as a national heritage site. It was subsequently declared in its own right a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Robben Island is one of those few places where you can stand on Robben Island and be part of another World Heritage Site which combines Table Mountain, the Cape Floral Kingdom. So it has two heritage marks. On behalf of Robben Island Museum, I want to salute the respective leadership of our two countries, political, traditional, government, educational, heritage and related areas, and ex-political prisoner leadership present, who, and importantly, the families of our two fallen Namibian freedom fighters who paid the supreme price for their principles. This is a historic moment for not only our two countries, but for the rest of Africa. And in this Women's Month, allow me to commend Dr. Sanet Steenkamp for achieving her terminal degree, as long as she doesn't become terminal with that degree. Having said that, Minister Mackenzie, when you were being thought of, Portugal was undergoing a revolution. And the Portuguese military junta fell in April 1974. The current president, Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, was probably the first to be arrested for what was to become the fateful Viva Frelimo rallies called at that time. That's the case I was the first accused in. The Namibian section on Robben Island was isolated from the rest of the prison. All of us were in awe and respected the fighting spirit and solidarity of our Namibian counterparts, who refused to surrender or recognize the illegal apartheid regime. Our fellow Namibian prisoners knew German, knew Afrikaans, and of course their own native language, Shivambo as paramount, but very little English. I hold no candle for English hegemony, but you heard the Namibian national anthem. It's in English. A profound declaration of the independence that, for example, the rest of our beleaguered continent can follow. Rise above objective conditions to unite as fellow Africans. Namibia, a few years ago, rejected the paltry reparations offered by Germany for their original genocide of the Herero people. Robben Island represents the heart, soul, and essence of who we are as a diverse people located on the southern tip of Africa. Its rich recorded history is over 2,400 years old, exemplified, for instance, by the Phoenicians landing there in 3 era. But the Phoenicians did not colonize us. Various other countries passed this way, but they did not colonize us. Our countries are bound by common colonial conquest, borders, culture, and the desire to be free. Science, not the pseudoscience that resulted in captured bodies for ghoulish, inexcusable, a mad sense of superiority, but science itself tells us that 96% of the world's population can trace some DNA to the oldest living ethnic group on Earth, the Humanisation, bordering Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa. We share a common biology, all of us. Ons is dieselfde, siafana. Any affront, injustice, indignity, any inhumanity, any diminution of a fellow member of the human family diminishes all of us everywhere. Let this signal occasion turn the tide against our imprisoned past to unleash and inspire a new African youth that proudly proclaims Africa is humanity's birthplace. We are indelibly bound by a historic compact to unshackle imprisoned minds and show a more humane face to our divided, fractured world. War, other egregious assaults and violation of the human condition cannot be condoned. Human suffering cannot be excused. Violence in any form injures all of us. We descend to our worst in a turbulent sea of mediocrity where the first grab is for personal life jackets. All of us everywhere deserve better. Let's strive to transform the unjust colonial knowledge legacies system so that it is truly decolonized. Not like the anti-apartheid struggle becomes a slogan, decolonization, which is led by Western writers. So that the systems that are being sown here by our respective institutions result in the unleashing of full human potential. This is a profound occasion for not only us, but for the rest of the continent against conquest and dominance. Recall that just 11 years ago, the last reparations for slavery were paid. And that was to the progeny of slave owners, not the enslaved. Rothschild and other banks were responsible for that. RIM, Robben Island Museum, is proud that in these trying geopolitical times, our and the government of Namibia are leading the quest for a restoration of our common humanity through a divine celebration of memory, so we don't return to the horrors of our shared conquest. A luta continua.
Thank you very much, Professor Cooper, for the wonderful remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries, esteemed guest, we are now indeed coming to an end of this landmark occasion. However, there are a few announcements that we want to make before we proceed.
Yes, thank you so much. You've been a wonderful audience. Maybe we give ourselves a round of applause. And our honorable speakers and excellencies, I think you have also honored our request to stick to time. Thank you so much for that. Just two announcements and one request. The request is to the excellencies and the ministers that when we close, the ex-political prisoners requested a photo with the leadership here before we leave the room. That's the request. I see that the honorables and the excellencies are nodding, so your request is granted. And in terms of the announcements, the technical team, as you know that the human remains are leaving tomorrow back to Namibia, and as the Honorable Minister Dr. Steenkamp indicated, they will be honored with a reburial on 24, and the tombstone unveiling on the 26th. So the technical team, our work has just begun in preparing for the departure tomorrow. So there's a request that the joint technical committee meets at 3 o'clock. We know our venue now because this has become home away from home. So we are meeting at 3 to finalize all the arrangements to be in time for departure tomorrow. And then also the other announcement is that after the anthems, you are invited for a refreshment. The leadership will be at the 6th floor, and then all the participants will then just around the corner. Lunch will be served there. So those are the announcements. And from my side, thank you so much. I think you have been a good audience, And for those who have given me this opportunity, thank you so much. It was an honor.
Thank you very much. May we please stand for the anthems, and then we can conclude after the anthems. We can go ahead, AV.
Let us all unite and celebrate together the victories won for our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend our liberty and unity. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life. Let us all unite and sing together to uphold the bonds that frame our destiny, our destiny. Let us dedicate ourselves to fight together for lasting peace and justice, honor. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life. Let us all unite and toil together. Give the best we have to Africa, the cradle of mankind and fount of culture, our pride and hope at break of dawn. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life. Namibia, land of the brave freedom fight, we have won. Glory to their bravery, whose blood waters our freedom. We give our love and loyalty, together in unity, contrasting beautiful Namibia, Namibia, our country, beloved land of savannas, hold high the banner of liberty. Namibia, our country, Namibia, motherland, we love thee. Osisingeleli Afrika, maluphakanyisa uphondo lwayo, izwa imithandazo yethu. Osisingelela thina, lusapho lwayo, murena buluka sitshaba sa Yesu. Ufedise dintwa le maswenye, Sitaba sa Yesu, sitaba